Welcome to the Joe Cohen Show. Join me as I share my experience with biohacking and invite top health experts to explore the latest technology, supplements, research, and resources for optimizing your body and brain. Okay, so the first thing I like to do when I open up somebody's account, this is just so everybody knows I'm in Briana's account and we wanted to go through her results and kind of get to see how, I've done my own results. I've showed my results, but I want to show people how they could see other results, and through that we could also gain some interesting information. So the first thing I like to do is go through the risks, and that could kind of highlight some important things. And the first thing is ALT. So when we actually look at it says higher levels of ALT. This is a liver enzyme. And when we look up your ALT levels, we see that you are on the higher end here, right?
Yep.
So that's quite interesting. I mean, it doesn't, there's still a range, right? Over here, you're 31, over here, you're 47. If we look at my results, it's going to be in the normal range. I don't think I have elevated ALT in my genetics as a predisposition, but you could see that there's even though you have a predisposition for elevated alanine aminotransferase, ALT, there's still a gap. There could be quite a big gap in your baseline levels, and there could be some reasons why it's elevated. Why do you think it got elevated more?
I eat more protein,
Okay.
but this is why I keep an eye on the GGT for myself, and mine's always super low.
Okay. That's actually more important, and this is kind of why it helps to look at multiple labs for a given topic, because you could see, but this really helps you tease out that you have a predisposition for higher levels of ALT here, which is quite interesting, right? You
Yep.
probably always saw your levels were on the
Yeah,
higher
they've
end.
always been high.
So let's go through some of your results here. I mean, you ever had a knee injury?
No, my knees do get inflamed when I'm getting a little chunky.
Okay.
That's when I know I'm holding too much weight. It's making
Okay.
my knees hurt.
Right, because it says you're more likely to have a knee injury here. But this is gonna be obviously heavily dependent on, things that put a lot of pressure on the knees. So
Yeah, as
even
well
if
as
it's
the
more
blood.
likely, yeah. So it seems like it only comes out. You do jogging?
No, not
Yeah,
anymore.
it's probably not your sport given this predisposition here. It says higher levels of prolactin.
So something interesting though is that I made a lot of milk, like, when I was breastfeeding my son, and so that was really neat. Like, I could run a pretty steep deficit. I lost 50 pounds within, like, 4 months, and my milk supply did not drop at all, and I think it was because I have a high predisposition for hyperleptin regardless.
That's interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. And by the way, this is why I like going through your results, because you have these labs. Like if I went through a lot of people's labs, or, you kind of also put pressure on your body in different ways, and you're more in tune with your body. Like most people wouldn't think about that, prolactin stimulates breast milk production, and they probably have higher, they were producing
Yeah.
more breast milk, things like that. So that's really interesting. The fatty liver, I'm not even going to ask you about, because this is going to have to do with your diet. So given your diet, even if you're high risk, you're not going to have it. End of story.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, have you ever done an ultrasound test out of
Yes, I
curiosity?
have. So with my cancer, I had CAT scans, liver ultrasounds and everything, so everything
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah, I didn't think so. That's why I didn't even care to ask, because this is one of those things that is extremely lifestyle based, which is very important to know, because some of these genetic predispositions, even if you have a genetic predisposition, like I had a genetic predisposition for high blood pressure, and one time I checked my blood pressure, it was high, but given my current diet and lifestyle, it's pretty much
Worry about it.
impossible. Right. It's just not possible no matter what your genetic predisposition is.
Yeah,
So this
I'm
is, yeah.
predisposed to high blood pressure as well, and it's always low.
Right. It's not going to be relevant. Some fatty liver, visceral fat, blood pressure. So I'm looking at the fatty liver one. You have the 96th percentile, but even though you're in such a high percentile, It's just you're not gonna have fatty liver if you eat the
No.
kinda diet and you take all the supplements that you do. It's just not
No, my
happening.
brother and sister both have been diagnosed with fatty liver. They
Okay, so
don't
you
live like
have
me.
those. Right, you've got those genes, because nobody in my family's got fatty liver,
Yeah,
and, there's some people who don't eat healthy at all, so it's definitely like, you can have the genes to not get it, but it seems like you've got a family history of that, and
yeah,
and you also have a
definitely.
genetic predisposition, but it's not gonna come out. Anxiety, more likely?
Yes, I'm a very A-type person.
Okay. Increased need for vitamin B6. This is an interesting one. What do you find?
I do supplement with that.
And have you found that you have an increased need, or you're not sure? Sometimes it's hard to tease
I'm
out.
not sure. So, when I was pregnant, one of the things that helps morning sickness is B6, and so I took that and it got rid of my morning sickness completely.
And you took it in isolation or in combination with other Bs?
I take it in isolation. I dose most of my
Okay.
Bs singularly.
That means that you do have an increased need, I would say,
Yep.
because, sometimes if you have an increased need, it could be in response to some kind of stressor on the body, or that's only when you notice a problem that's significant enough that you say, "Hey, there's a problem here," right? And so you take the supplement and you see, "Oh, it fixed the problem." But, so I would say that's probably a pretty good one. More likely low mood. I have this one as well, by the way.
Yeah, so that is my entire workspace. I do eating psychology, right?
Right.
And the reason why we usually go into these things is to fix ourselves, right?
Right. For sure.
So, yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
And this is why, like 5-HTP, like we talked about last time, it's so like paramount for my mental health.
Oh, for sure. I'm looking at you have an even higher percentile than me, 94th percentile.
Yeah.
There's a lot of recommendations here. It's definitely fixable. Let's see, you got the COMT gene here. I got that one also. Interesting. You got a DRD2 receptor gene. I think I have that one too. I think we have similar genes in a lot of ways, at least. Um, oh, you've got this TPH2 gene. That's if you have a predisposition for low mood and you have that gene, that means that you're likely to do well with 5-HTP, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So I don't get the same effect from even a high protein diet.
Okay. I'm sure you follow a lot of the recommendations here besides that, but we'll get to that later. Higher red blood cells? Are your red blood cells higher?
A little bit.
Okay.
I'm
It's
not too
yeah.
concerned about it.
Right. No, it's not a concern, generally speaking. It seems like it fluctuates a lot, though. That probably mean so this is one of those cases where you probably have a predisposition for higher, but if you are lacking iron on any level or some other factor, you could just dip down a lot. And do you have a predisposition for like being deficient in iron?
I used to, but I fixed that
Okay.
a couple of years ago, and I know how to manage it.
Right. So if your RBC dips, you're at any point, you're probably going to want to check your iron levels, even if it's in the normal range, right?
Yeah, I
Let's
keep
see.
an eye on my iron pretty tight.
More likely indigestion. Yeah. So that's the gut problems.
Yeah, so I had a lot of indigestion growing up when I was on the standard American diet.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
I don't really experience that now
For sure.
because of my diet.
Right. This is based on, they are doing studies based on people with, average diets, not your
Yeah.
diet. So a lot of my predispositions also are not relevant, right? Like my low mood is not relevant anymore because obviously I'm doing a bunch of stuff there. Pretty much all my risks are not relevant anymore. And that's kind of the key point because you have a genetic predisposition, but then there's recommendations in each one of them and how to prevent or, you know, get rid of the issue. Gout,
Yeah, so
more
my
likely.
grandfather had a leg removed from gout. So
Oh my gosh. Wow.
yeah, it was
Okay.
he didn't manage it, but I definitely
Wow.
have a
Okay.
family history of that.
Okay. That's interesting too, because sometimes I see I'm more likely for something that I don't have either because I'm too young or I'm too healthy, but I'm like, "Yeah, my mom or my grandmother had that," so kinda makes sense. Artery hardening. Ooh, this is a really important one, atherosclerosis, because 50% of death in the Western world has to do with atherosclerosis. I've told the team to we should, like, make that report more front and center because, like, that report on its own
Yeah,
is
definitely.
worth, you know, hundreds or even thousands of dollars because it's, like, it's a quality model and also it could tell you if you're at risk for cardiovascular issues. This one is 91st percentile, so that's something you wanna look into.
Yeah, I definitely
Um,
keep a good eye on.
right, and so you could keep an eye on your cardiovascular markers. You could see your next steps here. It says, like, what labs are related to it. Your triglycerides are higher, you wanna get that down. You
Yep.
still have some room to get your LDL down even though it's not bad,
Yeah,
and
so
your
I this
VLDL.
was before I started niacin, so I'm hoping that
Mm,
I just ran labs last week, so I'll see.
okay. And then you could see you could add in other markers as well, like blood pressure, ApoB, LDL size, particle number, lipoprotein A,
Yeah, I
homocysteine.
usually test too.
Yeah. So if you uploaded it, then you'll see like all the ones that are optimal, what's suboptimal, and you could get more information. But the VLDL seems like it could come down as well, which is worse than the LDL actually. But in any case, let's move on. Increased need for chromium. Interesting.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
mine's
know.
always
Uh,
low on my micronutrient test, so I supplement that.
Interesting. More likely restless legs.
Definitely.
You
That
shake
was
your legs a
so
lot?
bad. Well, that was so bad when I was pregnant, like, I couldn't sleep
Okay.
because
I
it was
also
so
got
bad.
higher risk for more likely to have restless legs, and I shake my legs all the time. It was worse when I had inflammation because like, your nervous system
Yep,
is also
and
you're in the
magnesium
90s.
really helps mine,
The
probably from
restless
the nervous
legs?
system.
Right, for sure. IL-17, this is an interesting one because this is what is elevated in autoimmune issues and MS, and you had that history of MS.
Yep.
So that's very interesting. Let's go back and it's not something you can really test in your blood, but
No,
given oh wow, it's based on 13,000 genetic markers. Higher levels of hematocrit, is that higher? Hematocrit?
remember one. Yeah, it is.
It is. You could see it's higher level. It's very interesting. You see your
Yeah,
genetic predisposition, you're like, "Oh,
pretty spot
higher blood."
on.
Yeah, high blood sugar is not necessarily gonna show up given your diet, but if you ate a shitty diet, it would show up.
So I wore continuous glucose monitors several times.
Right.
And so that's why my diet is like dialed in the way it is. I can't
Right.
tolerate the same stuff that Alex does. Like I could never sit down and eat a bowl of rice and be fine. Like
Right,
he's
for
just
sure.
fine.
Higher levels of homocysteine, probably not relevant because 'cause you're taking B
No,
vitamins,
I don't think
right?
I entered this one.
Oh, you didn't what is it
Like
normally?
I think it was like a 5.5 last time.
Okay,
I
but you're
have to
taking B
I'd have to
vitamins
look.
though, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's always fine.
If you're taking B vitamins, this becomes not very relevant. Psychological trauma, more likely. This is one of your things, right?
Yep. Yep. So
Like one of the
I
reasons,
focus
yeah.
on overcoming that a lot in my writing and my blogging just because I've been through a lot. And I think it's interesting, like what do they base that on? Psychological trauma. What's next?
I mean, it probably let's see what the how many variants they look at, but they're looking at a lot of variants. You're not really gonna be able to figure that out. 85th percentile, 443,000 variants. We use very sophisticated models to calculate this, so I don't
Yeah, I developed a PTSD after a near death experience in my 20s,
wow.
but I overcame that, so I'm fine now.
Right. Yeah.
It's just
And,
interesting.
did you mention that you use psychedelics or you were just looking
Yep.
into it?
I microdose psilocybin, and then I'm part
Okay.
of the MAPS. I'm going. I'm doing
You're part of
psychotherapy.
that study. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Okay. Is it the which study is that? They're using psilocybin or
MDMA.
oh, so did you already start the study?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
and then
cool.
I
How long
have,
have you been doing it for?
I think, a month and a half, and then I have my next session at the end of this month.
Oh, that's
Excited.
really cool. I would like to talk about that a bit. Like how many milligrams of MDMA do you take?
I'm not sure what he's going to dose this next time. I'm more familiar with the psilocybin because I have control of that. So
But how
we'll
many
talk
times have
about
you
that
taken MDMA?
once. And so this will be and
So
I
you've
don't,
taken
go ahead.
okay, so you've taken MDMA just once and you do it in the context of psychotherapy.
Psychotherapy. Yep. I've never done
A-
it recreationally.
And how many sessions of psychotherapy do you have per dose of MDMA?
Well, you have beginning sessions like where you talk to them. That's usually 3. And then the session where you actually go in and do the MDMA. And then 3 integration sessions post per session. And so they recommend 3, but we'll see.
That's so interesting. Let's see,
Yeah, this
MAPS
will be my second.
trial,
So
MDMA. Let's see,
yeah,
statistically
I'd have
significant.
to look at my
I
email.
want to see what the dosage is for that because that's very interesting.
Yeah, I can.
So initial doses were 80 milligrams or 120 milligrams, followed 1.5 to 2 hours later by supplemental half dose. Interesting.
Yeah, hold on.
So it's going for they probably have the good stuff too.
Yeah, they do.
You get how did you feel when you're on MDMA? Like how did you feel?
It's just heart opening. I feel a little speedy too, like I'm on an amphetamine.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. That's completely different than psilocybin for me.
Did it get rid of the trauma?
So I'm working on. I don't experience traumatic like flashbacks or anything anymore, but I'm very closed off. Like I do not have emotions, and I refer to myself as a robot often. I'm not like most women, and so I'm trying to open my heart more, and
Do you think
that's what addressing the trauma from my childhood would do.
Do you think that you're just predisposed to being more analytical, less
Yes,
emotional?
so I don't know if
Okay.
it's nature or nurture. And so
Okay.
I've often like asked people about that too. I'm like, how do I know it was like trauma in my childhood and not just wiring? Like I'm just wired
Right.
like
For sure.
because yeah, who knows? I'm
Yeah, I
doing
mean,
it to see. I do think that being optimal like would be addressing the psychological trauma if there is any. I'm doing it as an experiment, really. Let's
okay. Do you feel like the trauma affects your daily life right now? Like
no,
day to day? No.
no. My personality maybe because
But
I
when you
just
got
don't
into
like
the trial,
yeah.
did you feel like the trauma was affecting your daily life in any way?
No.
Okay. So you're just
So
like, I
I
want to see what happens with this thing.
yeah, and so when I tell people like my story, they're always shocked because I've been through some real like crazy shit.
Mhm.
And so they're always like shocked and they're like, I want to fix you. And I'm like, I don't really feel like I need to be fixed, but we can try it. They
Yeah, I
think
once
that
went
my
to
personality is like pathological because I don't
a
interact.
when you go to a psychologist, do you feel like you're being helped?
No, that's they say that the trauma response on not trusting people. I just think that some of them are really stupid and project their worldviews onto me, and I can see that. And I'm like, that's not me. Like you're
That's so
mislabeling me.
interesting. We're so similar, by the way. I was like, after I had a big breakup, I was just like, so, my ex girlfriend wanted me to go to a psychologist, whatever. Long story. I went and I'm just like, I don't I wasn't seeing the point. I'm like, "What's going on here? This is not helping me at all." And
Now,
it was just like I kind of got the same I don't know, I kinda got the same feeling as you, but MDMA is incredible for addressing any kind of psychological trauma.
yep.
I don't I don't really have a strong predisposition for psychological trauma, but at some point I had this kind of like midlife crisis. Not very long ago, but and it was just like really it was just really like for like 6 hours.
6 hours. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's how long my midlife crisis lasts for. I was just like
Oh,
thinking like no, because I was really like trying to find a girlfriend, like a significant other for like 6 months, and it just wasn't working. And I'm just like, what the and I was like spending time and I was like, what the hell's going on? I got like and also I was doing like experiments and I kind of got off of my mood supplements for a bit,
yeah,
which definitely stabilized my mood. And I was just feeling like down and it got me into this loop. And I was thinking, okay, I should get back on my mood supplements or I could just do MDMA and just completely get out of this loop. And I
yeah.
took
So
MDMA and it just
I see it as like a restart,
a
a
restart.
reboot.
It just completely blew that loop away. Like I really felt like for 6 hours I was just depressed. I didn't want to speak to people. I was like, okay, I really got to get on my mood stuff. But then I was like, you know what? I want to try this MDMA thing out, right? I mean, I've tried it a few times before, but I wanted to see like how it was if I'm in this loop, right? Because it's like
Yeah,
you're in the loop and you keep on looping and thinking about these negative thoughts and you can't get out of it,
yep.
right? It's like
Been
you
there.
don't even want to meditate because you're in such a loop, right? You're just like,
No, you're
oh,
like,
I should
this is
meditate, but
stupid.
you're in the loop. You can't. You're just in a loop, right? And it only happened once in like, it's once in a really like blue moon. And again, it's when I'm not really taking I also ran out of my resistant starch, which helps a lot. So it was like a combination of things that happened, but I was just like, okay, I just want this like quick reboot and it was incredible. Just complete reboot. Bam.
That's what I'm using it for. I mean, I just had a baby a year ago and I want like a fresh new life. I had a midlife crisis too after my first divorce. I moved to Manhattan and I partied like a rock star for a year. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
And so the same thing, like I'm just completely on a different path now, want to
Did
reboot.
you didn't take MDMA when you
That
were
time
in okay.
now, but
Okay.
I'm approaching it now.
You want to hear about the one health hack that is sure to change your life? Okay, here it is. Subscribing to this podcast. 67% of listeners aren't subscribed to the show, so please don't forget to show your support by hitting the subscribe button now. You'll not only be supporting the show, but also investing in yourself and your health journey, all while helping to keep us ad free. Click the subscribe button now and enjoy the rest of the episode. So let's see what else we got here. We went through this like gastrointestinal infection. Interesting. Did you ever have one?
Yeah, my gut health is like my barometer for
Right.
most things.
Okay. Increased need for vitamin A. Is that
Yeah, yeah.
something you
So
noticed?
it tends to be low on my micronutrient test if I'm not supplementing, and I
Okay.
get bumps on my arms when I'm low. And that's retinol
Okay.
specific. Like I eat a ton of beta carotene.
Okay. Interesting. So for me, I don't have increased need. And I find that supplementing with vitamin A never did anything for me. Just
Yeah.
as a
Yeah,
data
it's
point.
definitely one of my magic bullet like
Okay.
supplements.
All right. Increased need for DHA. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so my DHA, I supplement that, so it looks fine if you look at my lab work, but my omega-3 index is always low, even with pretty high supplement, 3 grams a day. Uh,
Right.
EP. So,
Because you also
yeah,
have
definitely.
low increased need for EPA, so that makes sense. DHA and EPA.
Yeah, so
Mine,
I
I
dose
was
higher than I recommend other people because
mm, okay, right. increased need. Mine, I was dosing just 1 gram a day of fish oil, which is not a lot at all,
Yeah.
and my ratio was pretty good, 3 to 1. So,
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is good.
yeah. Even without eating a lot of fish or without a lot of fish oil. So, I mean, it goes to show you the difference in, having one genetic predisposition versus another. Lower levels of albumin, blood calcium, interesting. I wonder if this actually shows up in reality. Calcium. Calcium is a tricky one because oh, yeah, there could be so many reasons why calcium is different. If you see here, one time you're on the lower end, one time you're on the higher end. So the lower end is probably what your genetic predisposition is, and the higher end, I don't know what you were doing here.
So I cut out dairy actually. And so I have higher calcium after cutting it out. And I'm guessing it's just because I
Interesting.
was probably drinking a lot of almond milk with fortification. I've since like moved away from that, but I had a pretty nasty like Chino habit for a while.
Okay. Now, VO2 max and strength are really going to depend on your physical fitness. And it's kind of like the blood pressure, blood sugar, fatty liver.
Yeah, my VO2
So I
is
don't,
really high for my age.
yeah, right. Because if you're very healthy, that means you're utilizing oxygen and you're exercising. And so you're going to have a higher VO2 max. But that means that, if you were just living a normal life, you'd probably have a pretty shitty VO2 max.
Yeah, so when I was
Lower levels of
sedentary, it was really low. So
Oh, there you go. That's interesting.
yeah, so I've been tracking this stuff and I have like trackers and I had like one of the first auras.
Okay.
So and Apple Watch, I've had that for years too.
Interesting. Total protein. So it says lower levels.
Yeah, it's always on the low end, even with I eat 200 grams of protein a day and I'm 120 pounds. So I
Wow.
eat a lot of protein
Wow. Okay.
and it's always
And
low.
I want people to understand that the reason why we have this stuff is not like, yes, the lab stuff is could be a little more complex sometimes, like albumin, but it's there so that you can actually go check it. And also there's things to do about it, right? You saw that whatever lab result, if there was nothing to do about any of these lab results, they wouldn't be here, right? If there's nothing to do about homocysteine, if there's nothing to do about blood sugar, like every lab result here, there's things to do. Albumin, SHBG, VO2 max, all these things, there's things to do. Magnesium says you have an increased need.
Yes. So I do need more. Like muscle tension is my barometer for that too. But I always test low on that. I take 800 milligrams a day, which I do not recommend most people, but that's how much I need.
Okay, that's interesting.
I recommend most people take like 2 to 400 milligrams, and I take double to feel normal.
Okay. Right. So the thing is, to show you a comparison, I don't have increased need for magnesium, and I've never actually found magnesium help me. Even
Oh
though,
yeah.
yeah, I still take it, like, maybe 200, 300, 400
Yeah.
milligrams, just because,
Perfect.
you know, why not? Like, it's healthy, but I actually haven't noticed a benefit from taking magnesium.
So this people that write books like the Magnesium Cure and stuff, I think they just have a genetic predisposition and they see it as a panacea because it is for them, right?
For
So
sure.
that's why they get
For
all
sure.
like ramped up on these certain like diets or compounds. It's
For
funny.
sure. 100%. Exactly. You could see everything here, how everybody could be so different, right? Because I have in some of these things, I have the opposite results or just typical levels. And it turns out that I don't have an issue with them, or I never really, never needed higher levels. I actually get side effects if I take too much vitamin A. Like, I was taking too much vitamin A, and in my genetics, vitamin A competes with vitamin K.
Yeah.
And and I have a higher need for vitamin K, and what happens is that if I take too much vitamin A, it competes with vitamin K and my gums start to hurt because I don't have enough vitamin K. So it's like the opposite result in a lot of ways, right? And you could see that, right? Like if Brianna was just like a lot of people and she was like, the vitamin A cure, you just need
Yeah,
some more vitamin A. I'd be like, I'm taking more vitamin A. My gums are hurting. Well, you're not taking enough. You're taking
definitely.
more.
Like, do it
Yeah.
harder.
Just keep going. You need to go longer. How you've only taken it for 1 day? Come on. I'm like, but my gums are already hurting. Yeah. Oh, you're just detoxing. You got a Herxheimer
Yeah.
reaction. Well, I don't think so. That's a funny thing because I've never gotten any detox reactions. I've just gotten negative side effects. Okay. Like if you get side effects, it's not detox. It's just side effects. Right.
I think when I'm working with someone that is extremely overweight and has a lot of fat, toxins stored in their fat cells that they're releasing,
hmm
then I recommend definitely like sauna and but normal people in the health realm do not have herx like reactions the way they think they do.
For sure. For sure. I guess there is, you could, like, if you have a very significant sensitivity or allergy to something, technically it could happen. I think that could happen. I don't think it's common at all, but I think most of these reactions are just side effects from whatever they're taking.
I agree.
But yeah, let's see what else we got here. So the gluten and dairy sensitivity, I got these as well, and I'm pretty sure that we're both gluten and dairy sensitive.
I can't touch that. I love dairy. That's been a huge psychological like thing for me. And I think it has to do with the way it impacts my endogenous endorphin system, right? So I'm on LDN for that too.
So I mean, the rest of the stuff could be interesting, but most of the stuff I like, if I'm going through someone's stuff quickly, I look at just the high risks. But on your own time, you obviously can look at this many reports, right? You should also fill out lifestyle questionnaires to see what your lifestyle risk is. Fill that.
Did I do that?
You filled out two of them. Increased risk of hives and underactive
Yeah.
thyroid. Interesting. But when you fill out two of them, you could see like a lot of the other ones are in progress just because we don't ask you the same question twice. So you just fill out like a, set of questionnaires and it also fills in the other ones. So it shouldn't take that long to do all of them. There's 68 for you. And yeah, definitely. And then you'll be able to also look in the genetic reports. We show you like what your, or if you look here, for example, you could click on it and then you could go to report. So like it says related DNA reports, typical likelihood in terms of your genetic predisposition, right? But you have a high lifestyle risk. So you can kind of see if you actually have if you have a low lifestyle risk and low genetic risk, very low, very
Then you're
unlikely
not
that you're
gonna
gonna,
deal with it.
yeah, very unlikely. I mean, anything's possible, right? But you could also add things to an action plan. And then the recommendations, this is cool. You could type in any supplement and see. So we could go through some of your supplements.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that. But you can type in like a supplement and see what it's helping you address. So you type in, let's say, curcumin. For example, it could help you address suboptimal triglycerides, high blood sugar, shoulder and neck pain, low mood, fatty liver, artery hardening. Are you taking
Yeah.
curcumin?
Yep. The long
Well,
day.
that's why these
Yeah.
things aren't, and it's one of the reasons why these things are not an issue anymore, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go through just in general, some of the top supplements that you take. And if you had to, I'll go through the list, but you have some information here, but I want you to tell me, like, in one sentence, what do you notice most significantly about it? Like, what's your number one reason for taking it?
Okay.
So vitamin C, number one reason.
Skin health and immune health.
Okay. And you notice the difference.
Yes, I see it in my
Okay.
labs too.
And so when I ask you number one reason, tell me if that's something you notice, if that's applicable, right? Instead of like there's research that shows,
Yep.
but you might not notice, right? So
Yep.
vitamin K2, number one reason.
My tea is why I personally take it. When I was a vegan, that's the one supplement that I added back, and all my tooth sensitivity went away.
Okay, interesting. And you noticed that. Okay. So my gum
Yep.
sensitivity went away from that. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's one supplement I will not like go without.
Okay. Let's see. That is interesting. I mean, but you were on a vegan diet though.
Yeah, so I still have tooth sensitivity like when I go off of it though.
Oh,
So it's
interesting.
just not as bad. Like when I was on the vegan diet, it was horrible. Like I was horrible, horrible pain. Now it's just like slight pain if I go off
Okay.
of it.
Okay. Now, retinol, which is vitamin A.
Yep. So I noticed a huge difference between retinol and beta carotene in my skin. I will get like white bumps on the back of my arm. And I think we went over this last time in my self decode report. I have a
Mhm.
higher need. And
Mhm.
so I notice a huge difference between retinol and beta carotene because, as I said, I eat like 3 to 4 pounds of produce a day. I'm definitely getting enough beta carotene, and I
But it's
still
not
get those
converting.
white bumps if I do
Mhm.
not supplement retinol or if I run.
Okay, interesting. Magnesium.
That helps with my sleep mainly. That's what I use it for.
Okay.
And my
And
tension in my neck and shoulders, like it immediately picks up.
okay. Copper.
My copper's always low, and so I take that for immune function
Okay. And do you notice a
and skin.
difference there?
Only when I take the like the ionic forms, I
Oh,
feel
interesting.
weird. I, I just feel like more on edge. Like when I take
Oh,
and
but
I just feel a bit.
that's not a good effect though. Do you feel
No, so
any positive effect?
from the chlorophyll, no, I don't feel anything from that one. I
Okay.
just take
So
it because it's low in my labs.
got it. Okay. So you're taking that purely because of the labs. Okay. Chromium.
I don't notice anything when I take that, but it helps with glucose control, and mine is always low on my tests. And I do have a higher need for the self decode.
Okay. Boron.
Hormonal health and bone health. I do notice a difference in my mood, and I think that that is like hormonal. I think
Interesting.
that's why
Okay. Choline.
that's for my liver. I have a higher requirement because of my polymorphisms, and I haven't noticed
Okay.
anything, but I just take it.
You don't know. Okay, but you didn't notice anything. Okay. Iodine.
That's for thyroid health. I don't notice anything with that either. I
Okay.
just have low levels.
Low levels of what? Iodine.
Yeah, in my serum micronutrient
Okay.
when I
But you don't
was
notice.
not supplementing.
Okay. Your
Now
self
it's fine.
decode results also show increased need.
Yeah, I probably have
That's
ancestors that ate a bunch of fish or something.
right, for sure. Okay. Niacin.
Yeah, so that's something that I added recently a couple months ago because I hated the flush, but I've gotten over that and I deal with it now. I noticed an increase in my sleep, my mood. Like I really like it. I breathe deeper. I know that sounds
Okay.
weird. I get like deeper breaths.
Okay.
And I mainly added it because, as you saw last time when we were going over my labs, my cholesterol is still a little bit high. The ratio is fine, but still, I want to get it lower.
And how much do you take of that?
100 milligrams per meal, and I eat 4 meals a day, and I flush from that. So,
You flush from 100 milligrams.
yep,
Interesting. Okay.
that's why I
I
have
I've
plenty.
yeah. Why you should take something called Niextend. It doesn't. There's no flush there. It's nicotinic acid.
Really,
It's
I'll look
in
at that.
this waxy matrix that basically extends for 8 hours, and it's
Okay.
500 milligrams. So what I do
Isn't
is I take yeah.
isn't there? risk of liver injury with the extended release?
Theoretically, I guess I'm gonna be doing a bunch of lab tests now, so I'll get back to you on that. But what I do is I take trimethylglycine when I take it. So first I take 100 milligrams. I take 100 milligrams instant niacin plus the 500 milligrams slow release. So I take the trimethylglycine, and I feel like that gives me a methylation and glycine boost. And then for dinner, I take it again in case I'm deficient to kind of refill my stores from the niacin. I also take a slow release B vitamin supplement. So like there's methyl B vitamins that are being slow released as well over 6
Oh,
hours or 8
interesting.
hours. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
So as I understand it, the liver issues, first of all, only come from high dosages. So unlikely to come from 500 milligrams.
Yeah.
But but the trimethylglycine also counteracts that effect. Now, again, so I take it during breakfast, and then I'll also take it during dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, I take it at every meal because I don't want to cause a state of like indigestion.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
more
I mean,
thinking about all the potential
yeah,
like causes and downfalls of each supplement, right?
right. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna that this is one of the reasons why I want to do some testing and see is my where's my homocysteine at, where's my liver enzymes at, how is this affecting my LDL cholesterol, things like that.
Do you test your GGT?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a
So
better one when you're
yeah.
on a high protein diet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna test that as well. Okay, so I agree. Niacin, I think, is one of the least is the most underrated supplement out there. Right? It
I,
doesn't. I
I
don't think
agree.
there's not that much talk about it, but the impact can be massive on a huge number of areas.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so let's go to creatine.
Yeah, so that for exercise, brain health, when I first started taking it, I used to get anxiety, and that was the increase in methylation.
Okay,
But I don't anymore. I dealt with that.
how did you deal with that?
I just slowly worked up. Like I took a very small amount and worked my way up over like a
Okay,
year.
what did you get anxiety from? Like, what kind of dosage?
I think it was 3 grams, which
Okay.
is the recommended amount for someone my size.
I think I took like 30 grams of it because I wasn't noticing any acute effects from like 5 or 10 or 15 grams or even 20. So I just said, like, let me go for 30 and see what happened. And
Anything?
I didn't take it a little bit. It's an interesting one. It's not something that gives me a strong effect, even though there's so much positive research on it. And it's like one of those supplements that, let's put it this way. If it weren't for the amount of research on it, I don't think I would take it just based on how I
Same.
feel from it.
Well,
Yeah.
same because I don't see any noticeable benefit from it.
Right. Which kind of gets into an interesting point. Should you take something just based on the research? Like, what do you want to? I mean, it has very low side effect potential, so I take it anyway. But I only take like 1 to 2 grams a day, just because of all the research.
Yeah, I take 3 grams a day just because of the research like that. I think that we can't see everything, right?
Okay.
And so
Right. For
that's what
sure.
the data's there for.
For sure.
Some things we aren't going to feel.
But I mean, what does it mean when you do feel something pretty strongly? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good question because that might show a need
Right.
for it.
That's that's kind of where it's like, okay, should I only be taking the things that I can actually feel reasonably strongly, or just things that have the best research necessarily? But it's one of those things that I guess I let's be clear, I did feel it at 30 grams, but that's a very high dosage, right?
Yeah, that's not sustainable.
Right. No, I mean, and I also I didn't take it for like a week just to, or even 2 weeks just to be able
Flush it
to
out.
notice, yeah, to notice a bigger effect. So that was an interesting experiment because I just felt like I'm taking creatine all these years, and I tried a megadosing experiment before, but it wasn't 100% clear. I had to do the same thing with glycine. I think I took like 25 grams of glycine
Oh, wow.
just because I was like taking 3, don't notice, taking 6, don't notice, taking 10, don't notice anything. Like, I at least want it one time. I need to see what the heck is going on, right? Is this having an effect, you know?
Yeah,
And
so
I could s
glycine,
yeah.
I definitely notice an effect at a small dose.
You do? Okay, what do you
Yeah.
notice?
Well, I sleep, like, really good, and my bloating is, like, completely non-existent. Those are things that I sleep, skin, and bloating is, like, what I look, and so I use glycine with most of my clients, even my clients that are, like, anti-supplement. I work with a broad range of people. If they have any kind of insomnia, glycine is my go-to.
Glycine, I think with me, it's interesting because every all the studies that talk about, like, all the studies done on insomnia and sleep research, for the most part, there's certain things that are relevant for me, but most things are not, I feel like. So anything I take before bed almost always is a negative for me, which is
Oh,
interesting
wow.
for sleep. Yeah, for
Yeah.
some reason, my sleep is very, meaning if I take it like 4 hours before bed, then it's fine, but when I take stuff, like, right before bed, it almost always hurts my sleep in some way. Not 100% of the time, but, a fair
Even,
bit of
like,
the time.
melatonin and
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Even 5-HTP, like, when I take it right before bed, if I take it a couple hours, it actually helps my sleep, but,
Okay. There must be
this
some kind of
yeah.
circadian thing for you. Like, I mean, we all
I
have
don't know what
our
it is. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but taking things, like, right before I go to sleep, like glycine or even, like, a half hour or something, fine is not good, but so I just take glycine in the daytime, you know?
yeah,
Or
I have to
maybe
take it.
afternoon, just whenever, not really specifically at night. Okay, spirulina. Why do you take that?
That one, I feel more energetic. That's why I stick with it. But it's like a general health tonic, right? And with skin quality, longevity,
Okay,
that's the theoretical kind of stuff.
okay. So, but you do feel more energy with it.
I feel that one. Yep.
Okay. Taurine?
That one I don't really feel even at higher doses, but I take it for mitochondria. That's pretty much why I take it. And sodium
Okay.
potassium balance.
Yeah, I think I had to take 6 grams of this to notice something of the
Yeah,
taurine.
I don't I I take 2 grams a day.
Oh, that's a fair bit. And you're taking it for mitochondrial function, you say?
Yep, and sodium potassium balance, electrolyte balance, heart health. I
So
mean, it's good for so many things. That's why I take it.
that means
But
if
I'd
you're,
be
like,
bullshitting
playing
if
a
I
lot of
tried.
sports, if you're playing a lot of sports and you're, losing a lot of electrolytes, it might help.
Yep.
Okay.
Or if you're dieting, that's another place where electrolytes, you need to be really mindful of those
Okay.
just
What
because your
about
insulin's lower.
Okay. What about glycine?
Glycine for what?
Well, I'm asking you, what do you take it for?
Oh, my gut health, pretty much, and sleep.
Okay. And you notice the effect on sleep and gut health. You mentioned sleep.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Colostrum?
Immune health. And that's more from research I've read. I don't really notice the difference.
Okay. I actually do notice a difference on immune health
Do
from
you?
colostrum. Yeah. It's
Maybe I'm
pretty
not taking
significant.
enough. How much do you take?
Oh, for immunity, I'll take like 25 grams.
Oh my god.
I just realized that they sell this in like 500 milligram pills. I'm like, wait a second.
Oh no, yeah.
She
I
probably
buy the
doesn't
bag.
notice it. Oh, you buy the bag, but how much you
Yeah,
take?
just like a tablespoon. I would have to look at how much that is.
Oh, so I
I
could
don't
tell you
know.
that's probably like 5 grams or maybe less. Yeah, you might not notice something from less than 5 grams or 5 or
Maybe I should
less.
up it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're taking powders like this, you would wanna do the grams just to so you could see how much you're taking.
Yeah, so I that's one of the ones that I look at as like a food thing. So I just throw it in a smoothie and I don't even like think
Hmm,
about that one.
right.
Capsules I treat more like supplement
Interesting. So there's
in my
studies
opinion.
here. There's a meta-analysis that I
Yeah.
see you brought down here. 5 randomized controlled trials in
The 10 to
athletes
20
found that
grams.
10 to 20 grams of colostrum powder reduced the risk of contracting a respiratory infection by 38% and experiencing symptoms by 44%. So this is exactly how I use it. Basically, if I overtrain or if I'm exercising too much one day and I'm feeling a little worn down, that means that my immune system is not keeping up, right? And I'm
Yep.
susceptible to an infection. I take 20 grams of colostrum, let's say, and then I get energy back and I feel back to myself. That's kind of how I know it's working. And
Okay.
so, or if I'm feeling run down and I feel like I'm actually getting infection, I go for the colostrum. I've noticed a few times it helped.
Yeah, so I was taking 20 grams around that when I was going through cancer treatment. I remember that.
Mm, okay. But
Things have
that
kind of changed
doesn't that
since then.
also potentially could increase the spread of cancer by increasing like growth hormones?
No, so I have a huge piece that I need to publish on my opinions on that too. I think
Okay.
that everyone's body cycles through that kind of stuff, and that's why the first time we talked, I said that I pretty much like fast during the day, but not really. I eat vegetables and fat, low protein,
Okay.
and then I backload my protein at night. And I think the body needs protein for immune function too, right? And so you can't
Right.
just take it all out. Just like amino acids, you can't take it all out, but I think we can place them in smart places during the day, right?
Okay. The interesting I would say that out of everything that was improved my immunity the most over the years, I would say niacin was number 1. This is the first winter that I've gone through where I so far haven't gotten an infection, and I attribute that to niacin.
Yeah.
And some
Well,
other things that I did, but I think the niacin was the game changer in combination with a bunch of other things, but I think that was the biggest factor.
yeah, I'm early in on my experiment, but I am loving it. Like I don't have as many like allergies and I find it's helping me so far. We'll see with my next labs.
Yeah. It's interesting that, like, almost all the research is just based on reducing cholesterol and stuff, and, they're giving, like, massive dosages, and they didn't find benefits to mortality, but, you know, when you're taking that
So
much.
yeah, the stuff that interests me more is like the mental health kind of stuff with niacin.
Right,
Like it completely puts like schizophrenics like into remission.
for
Not all
sure.
of them. It depends on the etiology, right? But it's just crazy to me.
Right, for sure. So let's move on. What do we got next here? NAC?
NAC, I do that for liver health, and
What do
I
you
yeah, I
notice?
do notice my labs get better. So
Like, what would get
my
better?
enzymes will come down,
Your
and
liver
my
enzymes will come
yeah,
down. Okay.
yep, and GGT is always really low, which
That's a good
is a
thing.
better marker. Yep.
Okay. You're saying that's because of the NAC. Got it. Okay.
I believe that because even through my, like, wild days, like, that's what I would take NAC, milk thistle, and I would also get IVs, like NAC,
Hmm.
and my liver was always fine.
Okay. I get some gut issues from NAC. I used to take it a lot, but I get some gas from it pretty much. So I stopped. And it's not the gas that smells good. It's like,
Sulfur.
yeah, it's like sulfurous stuff, and I'm just like, no, not gonna do it.
Yeah, I hate the
Not worth
smell
it.
of NAC itself.
Yeah, smells terrible. I don't know. I wonder what it is. It just, yeah. I mean, it got better. Like, I tried it, just for my alcohol stack, and it doesn't seem very bad, but I don't wanna I don't know, it just doesn't seem good. Doesn't feel good. So, what else do we have? Carnitine.
That one, I don't notice a difference with that one. I take it mainly because I have PCOS,
Okay.
and it's been shown to help.
Okay, so more research. Go down the list. You have a note list. I wanna start you tell me which supplements you notice a difference from and what you notice.
Yeah, so melatonin, I sleep better on that one. So I take
Okay.
that. I take a higher dose because it's shown in postmenopausal women, which I'm not postmenopausal, but it's shown to help sleep quality and mood in a low estrogen state. And so I'm in a low estrogen state, so I assume that would help me.
Okay.
Garlic, the only time I really notice a difference when with that one is when I'm sick and I mass dose that
Mm, okay. Is that raw garlic or pills or what?
pills.
Oh,
And
okay.
I take it for, like, my cholesterol too, because I run a little higher, so I try to get that
Okay.
down.
That worsens my cognitive function, so I kinda stay away
Oh,
from it
really?
unless I'm sick, yeah.
I haven't noticed that. Maybe I
Have
could
you ever
be
taken a very
smarter.
large dosage?
Yeah, so I take handfuls of that stuff when I'm
Okay.
sick.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I
but then
guess
you
my
can't notice
cognitive,
because
yeah.
you're sick, that's the thing, like, take it when you're healthy and see how your brain works.
Yeah. The curcumin, I definitely notice the anti-inflammatory because I work out a lot. And I notice, like, that. I'm not too concerned about anti-inflammatories from the standpoint of I don't work out to get swole or big. So I'm not
Okay.
worried about having too many like anti-inflammatories for muscle development. I work out for mental health primarily.
Okay.
So other people that are trying to like bulk and get big, like they should probably avoid the anti-inflammatories around workouts.
Okay. Keep
Um,
going.
CoQ10, mitochondrial support. I don't notice a difference personally, but I take it. QQ, I don't really notice a difference. I haven't mass dosed like you though. I go
I've
for
mass
mitochondrial.
dosed the Quinol PQQ. It definitely has an effect, no question about it.
Yeah, I've never mass dosed those. And our ALA, I go back and forth with that one. Antioxidant support. It's just theoretical. I do notice that I get low blood sugar from it if I take it too early in the day because I'm more fasted during the day and then I like backload calories. And so if I take it during the day, I do notice my blood sugar drop. But I don't notice anything else.
Okay.
The pine bark, it's just antioxidant. I wrote a paper on that.
Mhm.
And so I looked into the research and that's why I take that one. No noticeable difference though. Inositol, that's for my PCOS and hormonal support.
Do you still struggle with PCOS, or you feel like you have that under control?
So I don't have any symptoms. I didn't even know I had it until I tried to get pregnant and they did the scan and looked at my ovaries and they're polycystic.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so if you look at my self-decode report, I have the tendency to hide DHEAS, and that
Mhm.
is associated in the literature with lean PCOS. So people that are thin.
Mhm.
And that's more of
Okay.
an adrenal driven PCOS. Yeah. Anyway.
Interesting. Okay, and that's caused by the higher DHEA?
Yep.
Okay.
Pregnenolone, I take that for general, like it's the precursors to our hormones. So I take my hormone
Well,
levels
it'll
are really
increase
good.
your estrogen.
Yep. And so that's why I take that one. The DHEA, I
How
will
much you
take
take of the
that
pregnenolone?
50 milligrams.
Oh, that's no small dosage. That's gonna increase your estrogen significantly.
Yeah. So my estrogen's like in range. So I don't worry about like too high of estrogen. Some of my clients, I obviously worry about too high of estrogen with people.
Mhm.
And so I do watch that with other people.
Okay.
The DHEA is based off of my labs. So I will not take that if my levels are high without it. And I will
Okay.
take it if I'm running low. And that's usually when I'm deep in a diet. My testosterone will drop, which will obviously drop my estrogen because testosterone's aromatase into.
Right. Why do you think your estrogen is low?
I'm lean. I'm
Mhm.
super lean. So we talked about my DEXA scans. When I was breastfeeding, I was at 16% body fat, and I've lost 3 pounds since then. I don't want to lose anymore. I'm always like trying to grow, right, and maintain a healthy weight. But I'm lean. That's why my
Right.
estrogen's low.
Okay.
And then CBD, that's just helps my sleep, but I take a high dose, like 100 milligrams. Most people don't take enough, and it's an expensive supplement. So if you're not going to take enough, then don't even use it. That's
Mhm.
my opinion on it.
For sure. I agree. There's and also the quality of the supplements I think differs quite a lot.
Yep. Yep. I buy a good quality. I think Bluebird Botanicals is the one that I use.
Okay. And maca, what about
That one is for libido and hormonal support. And I just
and
throw
you
that in like a
noticed.
smoothie. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Instant.
Do you buy the raw maca or
Gelatinized because the
gela
raw stuff, like, or
is
however you say that. I don't know how you say that.
I think it's
um,
right, gelatinized or whatever.
yeah. So the other one does hurt my stomach when it's raw, and
Yeah,
it's the
you're not
raw
supposed to
starch.
take yeah, you're not supposed to take maca raw. That's why I was just curious. But interesting, you find that it helps your libido. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that you're gonna slip in your date smoothie.
Right. 100%. Beta-alanine?
That one, I notice my lips like are way better. And that I don't understand the connection between mood too, but it always puts me in a good mood. I
Same.
think it's serotonin, something to do with that. Last time I looked at it, but I don't have a full understanding of why it would impact my mood. But I take it for exercise performance mainly because I can lift a
Okay.
lot more and my endurance is better.
I like it as well. I don't I don't know if I don't feel any serotonergic effect, but there might be some dopaminergic effect. That might be what
Maybe
you're
that's what it is.
noticing. Yeah, I don't think there's any I mean, there could be, but it's definitely not strong that I notice it.
Yeah. And then the
Um,
fish oil, that's obviously just for good health. And my omega-3 ratio is always low. I think I was just meant to eat a lot of fish and I don't. So,
okay. And, the riboflavin?
yeah, that's for my MTHFR mutation. I don't notice a difference, but
Okay.
I take it just because. Perfect.
Awesome. So I really appreciate all of going through the regimen. I found it quite interesting. I hope the listeners will find it quite interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting to see like someone who's taking quite a lot of supplements. What are you noticing from it? Why are you taking it? And that's really cool.
Perfect. Well,
Awesome.
thank you.
So thanks for coming on.
Yep, thank you.
67% of listeners aren't subscribed to the show, so please don't forget to show your support by hitting the subscribe button now. You'll not only be supporting the show, but also investing in yourself and your health journey, all while helping to keep us ad free.